Nobes, that's a pretty tough night at the office. What
Yeah.
do you make of that one?
Oh, well, we've got to learn. We've got to continue to learn how we, apply ourselves to a game for 4 quarters. We're doing it in bits and pieces at the moment, and then when we turn the ball over and I thought we fumbled the ball a lot tonight. The ground gets really slippery up here, as I know, but I just didn't think we were sure over the ball, didn't spend enough time over the ball, and you give teams that are going to play fast an opportunity to score, and that's what happened. So, yeah, it was disappointing. I thought there were some times we didn't really compete with the ball, which isn't acceptable. And there were little glimpses again through the night as to what our members can look forward to going forward. But we've just got to continue to keep chipping away and learn as we go.
Is it an eye-opener for you at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we always knew that the pathway was going to be, bumpy along the way. And I think last week we had our youngest crew on the field in 10 years, and this week's probably not that much similar, except Jed and Hawley came in as the 23rd. But yeah, I think the experience for guys like Powell, Lazaro, Jack Marnie, those guys coming in to be able to get that experience is just going to be invaluable for us going forward.
What did you do in the third quarter, Nobes? You seem to sort of get the back game more on your terms.
Yeah.
What did you do that enabled you to do that?
Well, we keep trying to move it around. I think Greg, we sort of, Zurha went back to half-back, Pollock went back to half-back, created a bit more run. We've said that we want that flexibility at times. The rotations demands that, and when you're in that position at half-time, well, you need to react. We've got to look at those other options going forward. We moved Tyson back up to midfield forward. We had Goldie that we pushed forward, and then we changed up what we did with the ruck with Walker and Larkey. So we moved a few things around to have a look at. But it was about bringing energy in that third quarter. We started okay, we dropped off, and then the second quarter was poor on our energy scale, and then the third quarter we started to at least bring some energy into the contest.
What about your ball movement, Nobes? It seems to be, particularly in the first quarter, first half, that it's a bit of sideways, a bit short.
Yeah, like most teams, I reckon, Mick.
Yeah. Is that like a lack of confidence somewhere there?
No, I don't think so. I think if you had a look at how we moved the ball last week at certain points of time, it was similar. We want to get it into the corridor. Other times, when you chase, you lose a lot of gas, and if you can't have that high brand offence as you're going forward, then you need to just control the ball for a period of time. So our guys are continuing to explore what we want to do, how we want to move that ball. We tried a few things in that second quarter to stem the flow, which didn't work, and some of those is going a bit wider, trying to take the pace out of the game when the opposition's got a dominant position. But the other way that I think when you do that, you stretch the defence a little bit as well. That's what you're trying to do, so that you can maybe move it back across the other way. Gold Coast, against West Coast last week, sort of double switched a lot, and then they're able to sort of stretch that ground. Tonight we gave them access to the corridor, and we're just hightailing it into defence. So.
When you and Fags came to Brisbane, Nobes, at that stage in those early days, it was literally a quarter-by-quarter proposition, just trying to win a quarter. North, I don't think were ever as uncompetitive as Brisbane were looking back to 2016. But is that where it's at for you? Just trying to make those small gains. Yeah,
well, yes and no. I mean, there's a way that we want to play in order to get ourselves into a space where we can win games. Like we're not here to just develop. I mean, our fans need to know we want to win games. Like we're annoyed, we're disappointed in the way that we presented tonight. But we're not just here to take 12 months to develop.
Yep.
So I dare say by the time we get back to the hotel, it'll be made pretty clear that what was delivered tonight is not on. But I do think there is an element of certain characteristics of teams that need to learn to build and grow, and with that comes bumpy roads.
Yep.
We won one quarter tonight. Probably had enough ball in the first quarter to maybe get some more shots on goal. We didn't mark the ball inside well tonight. They defended really well. So they restricted us in that capacity. So I think they're the things that we'll take away in order to say, well, look, that group or that area of our game is in reasonable space. But you've just got to hang in, you've just got to fight, and you've just got to defend like crazy. And at times we didn't do that well enough.
Mahoney with the ankle right at the end there.
Yeah.
Any idea of how bad it is?
Not sure. It was bad enough that they didn't want him to come back on. And look, with Hawley only we actually activated it with about 6 minutes to go, and then by the time you get the rotation on, it went down to 4. We just felt that we needed to try to keep our guys coming. If we had a few other guys that were pretty sore that we're trying to get off, we've got a 6-day break. Great opportunity for us to play on Good Friday. I know we didn't have a win tonight, but we want our fans to come next week. We've got to get ourselves ready. We'll head back to the hotel. We've started recovery. We'll try to wrap up, our review tonight and first thing in the morning, and we've got to get stuck into getting ourselves ready for next week.
I know it's up in Brisbane and it doesn't really sort of have too much immediate impact on you, but the sort of another ongoing kind of uncertainty over COVID, it's just something that teams are just going to have to be ready for, isn't it? It
is, yeah. I mean, we're probably lucky we're not playing up in Brisbane. I don't know what would have happened with that result, but we got a clearance yesterday that, playing down here we were fine. We were able to fly back, tomorrow morning. We don't need to, as far as I know, I don't think we might have to get tested again this week, but I think that's just going to be the standard really, isn't it? I think what we've been briefed on from the AFL is that state governments will react sharper and quicker now, with those areas of partial lockdowns or full lockdowns. So just we need to be able to marshal our troops and move really quickly. So seems like it's going to be part of our norm for a while.
Just we all saw Jack Zeeble come on and see out the game, but how sore was he? Looked pretty. Had assistance from 2 trainers coming off. So
yeah.
Just wanted to check on him.
Well, we were wondering whether or not we were actually going to sub him out at one stage. The doctors needed to take him back down to the rooms, re-strap him. They might have given him a little run downstairs, and then came back on, and he was fine. So as your skippers and your leaders tend to do, they want to come out and lead from the front. So credit to him for getting back on the paddock for us. Just Jed Anderson's 14 tackle counts was, it's in our top 5 of our club. So great effort for him to come back, first up off a long rehab with a calf. So I thought he did a great job tonight.
We probably should have mentioned the positive Jed.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
He led the disposal count for you guys as well. So
he did, yeah. And look, and we've got a few coming back. We've got some good soldiers coming back, and Cunnington will be right next week. Luke McDonald's a couple of weeks away. Trent Demont's continuing to sort of train and get going. So look, in the next few weeks we hope that we'll be able to put a bit more rigour around those young ones that we've got that are learning the caper really well as we go. I mean, as I said, we've been really pleased with how they've come through, but we'll be able to add some more support around those guys, particularly in the middle. So that's a really good sign for us going forward. So, but yeah, Ben will be ready I spoke to him today, so he'll be ready for Good Friday.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nate.